Like you, sir. Early on when you was
Could you swing on the mic so they can hear him at home? Just hit the button so that's on.
Go ahead, man, the devil.
You damn right. Give him a hand.
Like you, sir. Early on, they was showing the pictures of the mounds, I guess that they had made when they had the oil lamp and they had the menorah.
Right.
Why did it have 9?
I mean, we always made different amounts of candlesticks. You know what I'm saying? That was just in the design.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But the point is that it was a menorah. The point is that it was an oil lamp, and it was made to look like it was spilling into the oil lamp, into the vessel. Okay.
Oh, okay. So the Spanish fabricated that story that when they when Hernan Cortez came to the Americas, to Mexico, that the Aztecs were sacrificing people and dressed half butt naked.
They were fabricating a lot of it. Now, I'm not going to say that we didn't sacrifice people, because when you read the scriptures, it says we passed our children to the fires of Moloch. So for me to turn around and say that they didn't know, but if you go and you look at certain things, like you'll find huge mountains of skulls, right, found inside the Americas. They blame us for that. But you go and you look in history, you find giant mounds of buffalo heads that are stacked that the white man did. We know the difference between what they did and what they didn't. Listen, the very fact that we sinned is the fact that we were conquered. Right. So is it possible that some of us might have done some human sacrifice, or AKA murdered? Yeah, absolutely. You understand? Which is why the white man was able to come conquer us. But as far as to the extent that they say, it was propaganda. And when you go and you look at how we were dressing, did any of y'all see loincloths? Y'all saw garments, you understand, prestigious wear. You saw mitres and turbans, and you understand, so on and so forth, because that was our culture. Right. Anything else?
Oh, so that was never true that the Indians were.
No, they lied on us. Any other questions?
I got it.
Right here.
What was the name of the book where it was saying that the white man brought this book, but we already had this book? The Native Indians.
Okay, that's from a couple of sources. That's not only for just when you point the mic, don't point it to the speaker, it'll give it feedback. That's from a couple of sources. That's one of them is from the 10 Lost Tribes, but he got that from Ethan Smith's The Star in the West. So when you go and you research that, it'll give you more, like they said that a couple of times, and it's in a couple of different books that they gave us our own book back. Any other questions?
I hear a lot of people saying that the Native American Indians, or the indigenous population of North, Central, and South America, never had horses before the Spaniards came. Is that true?
No, that's a lie. We brought horses over here.
Yeah, that's what. So if you could you give me a source, like, so I could, kind of.
Okay, I can't give you one that I have here right now. Let me go back into the archives. I'll give it to you, but even General Hyman taught that from the rip. You get what I'm saying? Like, we brought them here. The only thing that they brought over here, besides like rape, murder, pillaging, plunder, and swine, like pigs were not indigenous to this area.
Rats either.
Yeah, rats either. And now the New York subway's filled with them. I'm over there working at 100 Van Dam, ducking and dodging rats. Yeah.
The Appalachian, right? The Seminole Indians, right? Is there a relation between, or what is the reason why the Appalachian Mountains up here in the northeast, all that is named after Appalachian?
Okay, that I didn't get into research, but a lot of that stuff was Indian names that they named. Right. You get what I'm saying? Like, and what you're gonna see is that there's certain things, like, for example, Hibaro, or Hibaro is the real pronunciation of it. That's what they called the Tainos who fled into the mountains in order to hide from the Spanish. Hibaro, if you go and you remove the J, you understand, which didn't even exist, it's Ibero. If you go and you remove the S, which makes it plural, and then the O, which makes it masculine in Spanish, you have Ibar, which is Hebrew, which is why they kept saying that the Indians of the islands are Hebrews. They were calling us Hibaros. They were calling us Iberos. They were calling us Hebrews. But once again, they weren't saying Ibar, they were saying it with their tongue. So most of the stuff like Appalachia and all that is bastardized pronunciations from the so-called white man. So when you go to certain Indian towns like Okeechobee and all these other lands, that's not really what we called it. That's how they pronounced it. So can we 100% know for sure? No, but we can see inside the verb the similarities between Hebrew, even if it's been bastardized. My man right here.
The stones earlier on that had the Hebrew writing on them
From Puerto Rico?
kind were those like destroyed artifacts, or were those stones made the way that they were and designed the way they were?
No, those were intact, and because they had so many of them, and they were preserved, and even down to the point where the Father Nazario, that's what they called him, he kept them. The Smithsonian tried to buy them, and when he wouldn't sell them to them, they tried deeming them as fake. But the problem was is that they weren't able to find them matched with any rocks that was on Puerto Rico. You know what I'm saying? And once again, like when you go and you look at the artifacts, what the hell is it saying Hanoah for? You understand? Because that's the tribe of Ephraim. So those are still intact. You know what I'm saying? Like there's too many artifacts found all throughout the Americas tracing us back to our Hebrew lineage for it to be coincidence. There's too many artifacts for us to turn around and say, oh no, these are all fakes. Like, never mind the Michigan tablets that they found 33,000 stones for. They deemed those as fakes. I didn't pull them in here. Every single artifact that I pulled, even white scholars agree you can't deny it. And now imagine the ones they are denying. Imagine what they got locked in a damn bunker somewhere. Imagine what they burned. We just read what they burned, what they destroyed. Imagine what we ain't seen yet. But this is why the Lord said what? That the earth shall help the woman and swallow up all that flood of lies that the dragon gave us, which is the so-called white man.
Right. Most High in Christ.
Any other questions? Going once? Going twice? All right, so listen, a couple of things. We got Cross the Line coming on next. You know what I'm saying? We're going to take a quick break. Make sure y'all cop some oils from Captain Chaataza. If y'all want some of the music, come see me. You know what I'm saying? Come support. And yo, that concludes the lecture. Wow.